Eben Etzebeth is on the bench. Siya Kolisi is nowhere to be seen. Rassie Erasmus has named his team to take on Argentina in the city of Santiago del Estero in the Rugby Championship this Saturday. I must admit, I am somewhat surprised at the starting 15 as well as the bomb squad. Maybe you'll be surprised too. Let's take a look at what the coach has decided to do. We'll start in the front row with Oxen Chair, Malcolm Marx and Thomas du Toit. Salmaan Moerat, he will be the captain for this test match. Remember, he skipped the side against Portugal as well. Ruan Nortje will also be in the second row. And then we've got Marco van Staden, Ben Jason Dixon and Jasper Visser as the eighth man, completing the forwards. So a couple of surprises there, I must be honest. Not overly surprised with Ox and Malcolm starting at 1 and 2, but maybe Thomas du Toit at 3. I won't lie, I did not see that coming. I actually thought that he would start on the bench, but Rassie Erasmus has obviously decided to do otherwise. Maybe the big one for me, I thought Eben Etzebeth would start alongside Ruan Nortje. Salmaan Moerat is the man instead who will wear the 4 jersey. Remember, we saw Salmaan captain the Springboks against Portugal in that test match in Bloemfontein earlier this season. So not the first time that he is skippering the box, and clearly he is part of the leadership group and a man who I think Rassie sees maybe as a long-term successor to Siya. Certainly at this stage, that is how it looks. Now, speaking of Siya, I must be honest, I thought that the whole idea here was to take Siya, take Eben and so on to Argentina, win that test match in Santiago del Estero and wrap up the Rugby Championship, come home, play not a weakened side, but make a lot of changes for the test match at Mbombela Stadium. Instead, Siya isn't in this team. He's not even on the bomb squad team. So that is interesting. So it's going to be Marco van Staden and Ben Jason Dixon, which I must admit, again, I am somewhat surprised. I thought it would be Siya and maybe Elrich Low or Marco van Staden. I didn't think that Ben Jason Dixon was going to get a starting opportunity again so soon. With all due respect, he didn't have a great test match at Ellis Park against New Zealand, and I thought that that may have shifted him down the pecking order, at least temporarily. Looks like that's not the case, so he will be starting here. I won't lie, I'm a fan, I like him a lot, and I think that except for that All Blacks match in Johannesburg, he's actually had a very good season for South Africa. So, you know, there's a bit of a Stormers man inside here somewhere who's quite happy about that. And then Jasper Visser at number 8, so I think we always saw that coming. Let's have a look at what Rassie has decided to do in terms of the back line. Kobus Reinach and Handré Pollard at 9 and 10. On the wings, we've got Makazole Mapimpi and Kurtley Arendse. Lukhanyo Am and Jesse Kriel will be in the midfield, and Aphelele Fassi is the man at the back. Now, I don't want to be arrogant. I'm not going to give myself a pat on the back, but that is the exact backline that I thought Rassie was going to go with. If you watched my video on Sunday where I broke down the squad that went to Argentina and made a call on what I thought Rassie would do, that backline is exactly in place. So I'm not going to give myself a pat on the back because I did get my Springbok All Blacks predictions wrong. Not the overall winner, just in case you didn't see what I had to say. I predicted the Boks would win both, but I got the margins wrong. My scores were not quite what they could have been, let's say. So, not surprising, Kobus and Handré Pollard, that is the halfback combination that I think makes the most sense. There's a lot of experience there. Pollard obviously has missed a lot of the action so far this year, but this will be an opportunity again for him starting like he did against the All Blacks at the Cape Town Stadium. And I think that when they come back to South Africa for the match in Nelspruit, I think Sasha will just slot in there. And maybe there could be a change at 9, but we'll have to wait and see what happens there. I thought Makazole Mapimpi and Kurtley Arendse would be the wings. I wasn't sure who would be 11 and who would be 14, but Kurtley has gone to 14, which almost seems as if his preferred position under Rassie, because usually when Kurtley and Cheslin Colby are playing together, we've seen Colby go to the left wing as well. So maybe not too much of a surprise. Kurtley wearing 14 and Makazole Mapimpi wearing 11. Lukhanyo Am at inside centre. I wonder if that might be his position, or where Rassie sees him playing the bigger of the roles that he could play, because remember, he's a magnificent outside centre to boot. Maybe Rassie is seeing Lukhanyo as a 12 heading to Australia 2027 rather than a 13, with Jesse Kriel in outstanding form in the last year or so, occupying that outside centre position. And then, of course, Apelele Fassi, wearing the 15 jersey again, an exciting rugby player, a man who I may have told you guys this before. At the beginning of the 2021 season, I actually thought that Fassi was the man who was going to be Willie Leroux's long-term replacement, with an eye to maybe even replacing him ahead of the 2023 World Cup. As it turns out, Damian Willemse was that man, and he's also still to come back from injury. So that's quite exciting for the Springboks. So much depth that we have these days, guys. Let's have a look at the bomb squad. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Gerard Steenekamp and Vincent Koch. You just know that those are the three guys that are coming on somewhere around the 45-minute mark, and I expect them to make the impact that everybody else is expecting as well. Eben Etzebeth, we'll talk more about him in detail in a moment. Him and Ulrich Lowe on the bench, as well as Kwagga Smith, and then Jaden Hendrickse and Manie Lebok. So I promised you I'd say something about Eben. He will equal the record, the all-time record for test caps for the Springboks, currently held by Victor Matfield. That's 127 appearances for South Africa when Eben comes on. I'm not going to say if, because we're not the All Blacks. We actually use our bench. They all come on at some stage. Eben is going to come on and he will get cap number 127, and I expect him to be involved in Nelspruit as well, when he will actually break that record, set a new record for the Springboks with cap number 128, barring any injuries at this stage. So Eben, you know he's coming on. There's going to be a brand new front row that will come on. Wessels, Steenekamp and Koch. Ulrich Lowe will come on, and obviously we will also see Kwagga Smith come onto the field. I actually posted this on X the other day. I tend to be a little bit irreverent on X. You may have noticed if you follow me there. But something that I was very serious about on Sunday, actually, I posted that, in my opinion, Kwagga Smith is the best player in the world coming off the bench. And you know what? Got a really good response to it, except there was one person who said, what about Rob Lowe? And you know what? Rob Lowe was a wonderful rugby player, make no mistake. But don't forget that when Rob Lowe played rugby, if you were on the bench, you didn't get to come on because you could only come on for an injury. It wasn't strategic like it is today. And then, of course, we've got Jaden Hendrickse and Manie Lebok. I have no doubt that they will also come onto the field at some stage. Pollard could move to 12 with Manie coming on at 10 and then taking off or could even move to 13 and Creel comes off. There's all sorts of options. One of the wings could come off and Creel goes to the wing. And as you see, they just move down 10 to 12, 12 to 13 and so on. It'll be very interesting to see what Rassie decides to do, but no doubt all of our bomb squad members. It's a 6-2 split, a little bit more traditional in the Rassie Erasmus era, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what the Springboks will do. I'm confident that we are going to win this one and wrap up the Rugby Championship. I don't think it's going to be easy, make no mistake. Argentina are a formidable opponent, and you can expect me to put together a full preview for you later this week, where I will break down our team as well as Los Pumas, and we will give you a score prediction as well. I tend not to get them right, apparently, but let's see if I can get this one correct. Let's take a quick look at what Rassie had to say. This group features players who have played either against New Zealand, Australia, or both, so they have come up against tough opposition in the last few weeks, and this weekend will be equally demanding both physically and mentally, and it excites us as a group. Many of these combinations have played together this season, and they all know how tough Argentina can make things for you on the day if you do not pitch up sharp and battle ready. It's also good to have this mix of youth and experience, while at the same time having a squad that boasts the physicality and X factor that we need against the Pumas. Argentina are a force to be reckoned with at home, and they'll be even more charged up for this match, knowing that a bonus point victory or victory could keep them in the race for their first ever title. So we know they will not give us an inch. They are a quality team with strong forwards and talented backs, and they like to keep the ball alive, so we need to be accurate in every aspect of our game and deny them their stamping, their authority, but rather enforcing our style of play on them. We have no doubt it's going to be epic and could come down to the wire. But we live for these moments as a team, and hopefully we can deliver on what we set out to do and get the desired result. Let me also say quickly, guys, that if you're enjoying this video, I would very much appreciate your support. There are a number of ways in which you can do that. Over there, somewhere, you'll see there's a heart button with a $ inside of it. If you click on that, you can support me financially with a small contribution. It's entirely up to you what you would like to donate. You can also make a comment. It will be a highlighted comment, and I promise to hit the heart button on your comment, and I will also reply. You are guaranteed a response to your comment. If you don't see that button, look around. There's a button with 3 dots in it, and if you click on that, then you will see the heart with the $. Another thing that you can do, you can spear tackle the like button down there. You can even croc roll it if you feel like it. You can also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Now, seeing as we're talking about Argentina, once upon a time, when we went there, Peter Miller was in the squad. You might remember Peter as one of the great Springbok centres. Well, he told me one of the great things about touring Argentina is the pretty girls and the lekker meat. You can go and watch that video. It's on your screen over here. And you know what? Tox van der Linde told me a similar story. His video is over here if you would like to go and watch that. And I shall see you in the next video.